When you look at their tours in Europe, they're not touring fucking, Invictus Bar or Snicky D's. They're fucking touring stadiums.
I know, but
they're playing in the fucking arena where Arsenal plays. Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns with A&P, and today we're here to talk about Loudwire. Loudwire put out a list of the big four of Symphonic Metal, and that list included Nightwish, Within Temptation, Apocalyptica, and Flesh God Apocalypse. I was like, what the fuck?
What the hell?
Who put this list together?
What's funny is, he showed me the list, and I'm like, Nightwish? Checks out.
Oh, Nightwish is number one. Are you kidding me?
Of course.
They're the Metallica of Symphonic Metal.
But then I'm like, okay, Within Temptation, yeah, okay. Apocalyptica, I didn't even read Apocalyptica. I thought they were Epica, because I thought Epica was very... No one would be there, two. Right? And then I saw Flesh God, and then I'm like, okay, Flesh God shouldn't really be there, because they're not really...
They're more symphonic death metal, but then if you put... if it's either, to me, you have to go by the genre.
Yeah.
You cannot put Nightwish and Flesh God Apocalypse in the same group.
The same thing, because there's also...
Within Temptation and Epica.
Exactly.
And, whatever.
But then my thing was...
Because then you have to include Dimmu Borgir.
Exactly. And
I don't think they should be on that list either.
So you have to really define it, because they're under the same... Symphonic, but they're completely different.
But that's like saying black metal and heavy metal. Okay, they have metal in the name, so it's all the same. No, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same, right? Like...
Symphonic metal is one thing.
That's like putting death metal bands and mellow death bands in one list.
A lot of fans of symphonic metal are not necessarily fans of symphonic
death metal,
or black metal for that matter.
A lot of people who are into mellow death are not really into death metal by itself.
Or brutal death metal, or slam,
or grindcore, or all that shit. Like,
there's a reason why there's different genres.
Yeah, different genres. They weren't like.
So from this list, Loudwire has some geniuses working for them that put these lists together. I think they do it just to create buzz and for people to talk.
Because call them stupid.
Because this gets people going. Gets people going. So anyways, from these four, the only two that deserve to be on the list is Nightwish, obviously they're number one. And Within Temptation. And even if you go Within Temptation, you have to look more at their older stuff
shit,
versus their newer stuff. But then how the fuck do you put this list together and not have Epica there?
Yeah.
To me...
Or Delane.
Delane, maybe not so much. Epica 1,000%.
Of course.
Now you can make an argument who's going to be number 4. I think Therion needs to be number 4. I mean, they've been around for a fucking long time. And when it comes to symphonic metal, I don't think you can have a symphonic metal conversation without Therion being in it. Honestly, I don't think you can have that. They're like, not the godfathers, but at least... the stepfathers of fucking...
The step-godfathers?
Of symphonic metal.
Oh,
but Delane, Camelot,
yeah.
Even Camelot should be ahead of Apocalyptica.
Yeah, I was saying, when I went to Thing and I saw, Flesh God Apocalypse shouldn't be there, and I read Apocalyptica as Epica, so I didn't see anything else wrong with it except for there's a slot missing. But then I go back, I'm like, Apocalyptica? These guys, I don't even... To be honest, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't even count most of their shit as metal. So...
Definitely not symphonic... What, just because you have cellos?
Just because you have cellos? Like...
To me, it's not symphonic metal. Anyways.
I mean, that means Rivers of Nile is jazz metal, because they have the saxophone.
Sax.
Yeah.
That one makes no sense. But the one that makes even less sense is Flesh God Apocalypse. Like I said, like...
Yeah, I'm happy they're getting like...
Oh, no, I love Flesh God Apocalypse.
I love Flesh God, so I'm happy they're getting...
I would put them in the big 4 of symphonic death metal.
Right next to Dimmu Borgir, like...
Yeah, I mean, Dimmu Borgir is more symphonic black metal, but okay.
Okay, but symphonic black metal and death metal, I feel like you can merge
if you merge those two and make a
those two are closer than these...
True.
That's what I'm saying. Those two are a lot closer. Right? But these two are fields apart.
Epica to me is the one that kind of screams at you immediately. That's not on the list of big 4.
I feel like that's actually... If I was to go onto that post, I feel like that should be one of the first comments is, where's Epica?
How are you making this list and not putting Epica there? It just doesn't make any sense.
It's like sacrilege.
Now, I saw an argument the other day about the big 4 of thrash metal. Because my argument is that I think the big 4 of thrash metal... I don't know if Anthrax should be in that big 4. To me, I think a band maybe like Testament, Overkill, Death Angel. I've seen some people make an argument for Death Angel. I'm not going to go that far. But Testament and Overkill, maybe could take the place of Anthrax. Now, the reason that I've seen some people mention that the Big Four are the Big Four is not just because of how popular they are; it's because of how much they sold music. Like how much records have they sold?
So how popular?
No, not necessarily how popular they are in terms of how well known they are, or how maybe popular in sales.
Popular in sales are pretty similar.
Okay, popular in sales. But what I meant to say was not popular. What I meant to say is that the quality of their music, or how consistent their music has been.
Okay.
Like record after record, consistent, right? So I think that when they put the Big Four together, they went more not just on how popular they were with the audience or how good they were album to album, but rather the sales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from that perspective, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax, it makes sense from that perspective. Because I think in thrash, those four have sold more than, there's nobody that comes close to be able to break out of the four. So if you're putting this list together for symphonic metal, if you're going to use that as the same parameter, you still have to put Epica there.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that Epica is selling less records than Apocalyptica? Or Flesh God Apocalypse?
That's like...
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I really
And I'm
don't.
a big fan of those two bands. This is not a diss to those two bands. It's just that if you're looking at a symphonic metal Big Four, and you're looking at popularity and sales, Nightwish, Within Temptation, Epica, those are shoo-ins.
Yeah.
Right? Just the same thing with the thrash with Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. Those are shoo-ins. Now you can make an argument for who's number four.
Yeah.
Because with symphonic metal, you have Camelot, that perhaps in terms of sales and popularity would be over Therion. You can make that argument there. You got Therion. You got Xandria. You got Visions of Atlantis, a newer band, obviously not with the same impact. I'm not saying that they deserve to be in the Big Four. That's not what I'm claiming. But what I'm saying is that there's so many. You can throw a stone pretty much and hit a symphonic metal band these days.
Yeah.
There are a dime a dozen. Like there's so many out there, and there's so many that have been around for a huge amount of time. Like they have 13 records, 12 records. They've been around for a very long fucking time.
I'd still put Delane.
Delane is another one. I was not even thinking about Delane. Delane is another one. There's so many. And
you end up with Apocalyptica.
That one is a little bit more shocking than Flesh God Apocalypse, because you can make the argument, well, they are symphonic, yeah, but they're death metal.
If you were to make that argument, then if
even in sales, I don't think Flesh God is selling more than Epica.
But I think if you were to make your combined four of the symphonic genres in general,
then you have to put Dimmu Borgir ahead of.
It would be Nightwish, then Dimmu Borgir, then Epica, then Flesh God.
No. In sales, I think you have to put Within Temptation there. They're playing arenas.
But I'm saying, okay, but you have to also equal it out. If you're putting four, you have to put two.
If you, my issue with the list doesn't make sense, because if you're gonna do symphonic in general, symphonic black metal, symphonic death metal, symphonic power metal, if you're gonna include them all, I think you have to. Nightwish and Within Temptation are shoo.
I think symphonic metal, you can shoe it in with symphonic power metal, but then you can shoe in. Symphonic death metal and symphonic black metal.
But what I'm saying to you is
those can combine because they're close enough.
But let's say the list was meant to be all inclusive. So any genre that has symphonic in the name goes. The band can go on their list. Then you have to put Dimmu Borgir
needs
and
to
you
be
have to put Epica.
And Epica has to be there, yeah. And
so
Nightwish is already there.
Yeah, Nightwish and Within Temptation is already
so
there.
Then it's just who's fighting for. Oh no, then it's not.
No, it's those four.
It's those four, yeah.
My point is, it doesn't matter if you look at this list as just symphonic metal, or if you look at this list as all-inclusive symphonic metal genres. Regardless of how you dice it,
there's two bands.
That don't belong there,
and there's two bands that do belong there: Epica and Dimmu Borgir.
Exactly. Under any category, those two have to be there. So I don't know how they go. And once again, this is not a diss to Apocalyptica or Flesh God. I like those two bands a lot. But if you're looking at Big Four, they're not in the Big Four of that genre or of the combination of those genres.
They're not in the Big Four of the combination of all symphonic. But when it comes to their genres, respectfully, sure.
In their niche, yes. In their niche, they're the top.
And when it comes
and what Apocalyptica does, there's nobody else doing it.
No, that's why they don't have a genre. In my opinion, they're not symphonic metal because they have songs that are just symphonic music. and they have songs that have a little bit of a bite, and they have other shit. Like, they're just a band. They're not really I don't even count them as like a full on metal band. So I don't know what they're doing there.
And the symphonic death metal, if you're doing your top 4, then obviously 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗠 is on the top.
has to be there, right? And then
Septic Flesh.
Septic Flesh, of course, but
of that specific genre.
Of course. But I think you're right. If it comes to a symphonic overall,
all-inclusive
symphonic list,
those two still don't make it.
Those two, yeah, no. 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗦, Epika, Nightwish, and
Within Temptation,
yeah.
To me, those are the big 4 of the general symphonic big 4.
And I feel like over the years, if you were to update it, the only one...
I think Within Temptation, to me, has to be there, not because of what they're doing now, but because of what they did and how big they've become.
But what I'm saying is they would be top 4, but I feel like Nightwish, Epika, and 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗦 spots in that list are cemented. It doesn't matter what happens in the future with a different band coming out, they're kind of cemented.
I think those 4 are the 4.
But I think Within Temptation, down the line, could be replaced there.
I don't
Depends
know,
on the band.
I don't
know.
I
think for now they're there.
I don't. Once again, the legacy that they have, that they built. I'm not talking about the last record or the last 2 records. The legacy that they built, the name that they have. I mean,
it's a good
they're
resume.
selling arenas.
It's a good resume.
On the comment section, I saw somebody mention Evanescence. Since when is Evanescence symphonic metal?
Fuck, put them.
Are you kidding me?
Put Evanescence with 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏.
But it's not symphonic metal, dude. Like, what's wrong with people these days? Like, if you're thinking about, I was originally, when I look at the post, I was looking just at symphonic metal specifically. But then I started thinking, okay, let's make it even all inclusive. If you go all inclusive, then you have to put 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏 and Epika with those other 2. They're the biggest 4.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make the argument, like, for as much as I like Kamelot is not selling more tickets or more records than Epika or 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗓𝗏? No way. They're a good band, but they're not. So if the parameter is popularity and how many tickets they sell and how many albums they sell, those 4 is it. There's no argument to be had.
Nightwish at the top.
Okay, Within Temptation second. 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏
Within Temptation second.
In terms of size, they're not as big as Nightwish, but they're neck and neck. When you look at their tours in Europe, they're not touring fucking, Invictus Bar or Snicky D's. They're fucking touring stadiums.
I know, but
they're playing in the fucking arena where Arsenal plays. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I was gonna
playing Wembley and stuff.
I don't know. I was gonna put them 3rd. I was gonna put Epika 2nd.
No. And size-wise...
But I think size-wise now, yeah.
Epika just did a tour opening for Sabaton.
Yeah, it's true.
So you have to... There's no way Within Temptation would open for Sabaton. Within Temptation was opening for Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you gotta look at that...
But if you asked me a year ago, I think Epika still goes 2nd. But I think now...
No. Once again, it comes down to the legacy. If you ask me my favorites... If I rank out of those 4 who my favorites are, then Within Temptation would be last.
Yeah, no, for me, if it was my favorites, it would be Nightwish, 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏, Epika, then Within Temptation.
Yeah, me too. For me, Epika and 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏 are
have to be on the top
are like neck and neck. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to. Maybe one day I'm feeling a little bit more 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏, one day I'm feeling a little bit more Epika. But my point being,
more Nightwish, because
Nightwish is number 1 for me. It's number 1. Like,
because those 2 are neck and neck for me, because I could be in the mood for one of them, but they're always listening to one of them is a gateway to more bands. So like if I'm in a Nightwish mood, then I listen to Nightwish for a bit, and then I go on to listen to some Epika or some Delain or whatever. But if I'm in a 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏 mood, I'll listen to some 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏, then I'll go on to listen to some Septic Flesh and some 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏𝗪𝗡𝗏. Those 2 bands for me are, if I'm in the mood to listen to them, I end up listening to bands like them after.
Yeah, but I'm saying those 4 are the 4. And once again, if you look at sales, we look at popularity, all of that, I think you have to put Nightwish 1st, Within Temptation 2nd, 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏 3rd, and Epika 4th.
Yeah.
That's the logical thing.
Okay.
That's my list of the big 4 of symphonic metal. But 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏, I mean, I can even give you the Flesh God Apocalypse, which no way, like, for as much as I like my Italian brothers, there's no way they can be in that big 4. But 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗡𝗏, really?
I don't even...
I just don't see it. I don't know. To me, it's almost like the people who made this list don't know enough bands. Like
Top 4 black metal bands:
like
Mayhem, Immortal, Zeal and Ardor, Ghost.
Yeah. You know what? The big four of black metal. This is the equivalent of the big four of black metal. Well done.
Immortal, Mayhem, Zeal and Ardor, and Ghost.
Well done.
You looked at me when I said Zeal and Ardor. Like, yeah, I know, but come on. The people who listen to Ghost and think it's black metal are the same people who are going to listen to Zeal and Ardor and think it's...
In all fairness, Zeal and Ardor is more black metal than Ghost.
Yeah, of course.
It's more.
Dude.
You got diluted as you went down, but okay, fair enough.
Me going in the washroom with a distortion pedal and playing whatever riffs I know is more black metal than Ghost.
But your analogy is spot on. All right, guys, let us know what would be in your big four of symphonic metal. Hit us up in the comment section. We'll see you all at the next one.
See ya.